May I come in?
Please come in. Please sit.
Thank you, ma'am.
You mentioned that your mother is a housewife. Okay.
Yes,
What is the term which is being used now these days? As a woman, I don't like this word.
Ma'am, the homemaker.
Homemaker. Yes, very good. Now, beginning of the civilization, we used to have, or rather in India, we used to have joint family, right? Then we shifted to nuclear family.
Yes, ma'am.
Now again we are coming back to joint family.
Yes, ma'am.
However, there is a difference between the jointness today and the jointness which was seen earlier. What is the difference?
Earlier, there used to be a common kitchen in a joint family, and the whole family sit together for the eating. But now, even if there is a joint family, the family is living in one house. The kitchens are different for the people. And secondly, ma'am, the love and compassion towards each other, that is somewhere lacking in comparison to the earlier times. And today, people are more involved or more busy in the technology using of cell phones.
I mean, why? What is that attitude reason that today in this consumer world that you're again thinking of joint family?
One reason would be that it is very difficult to survive on the single payment. So joint family can cater the needs of the family together in a very well manner. Second, I think people are again looking for the love of the family, which was not there in the nuclear families. So that is also one reason, I believe, ma'am.
I don't know anything about Skill India. I've come from outside. Explain.
Ma'am, Skill India is a mission which is envisioned by the Indian government to skill the population of the India, to utilize the demographic dividend of the India in a very effective manner, so that the demographic dividend do not turn into a demographic burden. And as if we see, ma'am, we have only around 2.5% of population which is skilled, and India is aimed to be a world power. So skilling the people is a need of the hour. So government is moving in that direction by opening the skill institutes in different domains, different fields.
Has it been successful?
To some extent, ma'am.
Suppose if you are given the responsibility of making it successful in your state, what steps would you take?
Well, my first step would be that I would link the skill centers with the industrial demands, the multinational companies which are in my state, to ensure that people are easily employable after getting skills. Second one would be, ma'am, the incentive mechanism for the short time, so that youth are attracted towards it. And third one would be, ma'am, diversification of the skills in terms of new technologies, for example, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic learning. So that I would do.
Okay. My last question. You have applied under the category of EWS,
yes,
right? And you have finished your education in 2016. After that, you have not taken up any job?
Ma'am, in 2019, I was able to clear the Group B job in Punjab, and recently, 4 months back, I got the joining as an inspector in Department of Corporation, Punjab government, and presently I'm under training, ma'am.
So, okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your views that whether minority status should be given to the non-Sikhs in Punjab?
Sir, if the demand is there from the people
It's
side.
not about demand also, because you see, technically speaking, when we talk about minority,
Yes, yes, sir.
any population which is less than 50% of the total population,
Yes, sir.
so it is a relative term.
Yes, sir.
So when some section is not demanding something, so why the Sikh community will be enjoying the privileges of minority community within Punjab,
Sir.
if there is any logic?
So we can think of amendment and we can go for giving the minority status at the state level. Yes, sir.
So you are in favor of that. Okay. What is how for the cooperatives you have joined the department cooperation? How cooperatives? What achievements have been there in Punjab with respect to the cooperatives?
So there are many achievements. First one would be that people are getting subsidized rates of pesticides and fertilizers through the primary agriculture credit cooperative societies, and easy loan availability at the interest rate of 7% and interest subvention of 3%. And if we talk about, sir, the milk cooperatives, then Verka is a very successful example in Punjab. And
What are the problems which are being faced by the cooperative societies?
so the first problem is that the political interference. If we see at the ground level, sir, the secretaries of the cooperative societies which are appointed, they have a political background or influence. Second one is, sir, the loan repayment problem. People start waiting for the election mode so that the government would come and waive the loans. So that is also something which leads
Corruption
to the.
is also there.
Yes, sir. Corruption is also there.
Okay. You have studied political science and international relations in your graduation also.
So in graduation.
In masters.
Yes, sir.
In masters also, and during your preparation also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us what the difference between neo-Marxism and neoliberalism?
Sir, I'm not exactly able to recall the neo-Marxism, but the neoliberalism is the extension of liberalism, where it is thought of that. Pardon me, sir. I'm not able to recall.
Okay, what
it
is the
exactly.
difference between liberals and the neoliberals? Liberalism and neoliberalism.
Sir, I'm not able to exactly recall, sir.
Okay.
Pardon me.
What
But
is,
I'll do.
what is ecofeminism?
Sir, ecofeminism is that where the women's rights are linked to the environmental rights, and women's are coming.
How that can be linked?
Sir, it is said that the women are more linked to the nature, and they are coming forward to protect the environment and their rights as well. So that is how. Sir.
Can you tell us what are the principles of natural justice?
Sir, to the best of my knowledge, sir, natural justice should be equitable. It should be reachable to the people.
It is not. It is not. I am asking you as a student of political science, the principles of natural justice.
Sir, pardon me, not able to.
Have you heard about Amrit Mahotsav? Have you heard about the Shatabdi Sankalp?
No, sir. I don't.
Have you heard about Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat?
Yes, sir.
What is
I have
it?
heard. Sir, it is under this the government aims to strengthen the diversity of India. For example, the government has taken that the language example, that the people from one state should learn the languages of the other states, and also there should be a intermixing of the cultures, the cultural competitions, so that the people from the north learns the culture of the south, and similarly from the south people learns the culture of north and northeast. Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Manpreet,
Yes, sir.
you have mentioned traveling as one of your hobbies.
Yes, sir.
So during the pandemic, traveling has, simply it has been hampered.
Yes, sir.
What is the effect of this on, on your personality? Because hobby is generally something which is enriching our personality.
Yes, sir.
So do you feel that there is some impact of it on your personality?
Sir, as I'm a nature-loving person, so whenever there was no COVID guidelines or there was less restrictions on movement, I used to visit to the Himachal Pradesh, places in Himachal Pradesh. But also during the COVID period, sir, when there was restrictions, I used to see the vlogs, the traveling vlogs on YouTube, and I have followed 2-3 persons on YouTube and made a list of places where I would love to travel whenever I'll get time, sir.
Which are the places which you have liked the most while traveling till date? 3 places?
Sir, first one would be the Shri Hemkund Sahib in Uttarakhand, and second is Sir Manali in Himachal Pradesh, and third one would be Sir the Nanded in Maharashtra, sir.
What is unique about Manali?
It is a cultural tourism hub of Himachal Pradesh, where not only you can see the beauty of Himalayas, but also there is a cultural places. For example, we have Manikaran Sahib, we have Chamunda Devi Mandir, and also the water sports like rafting.
You were talking about some cultural sites. Any other important cultural site there, religious site?
Sir, one is Kheer Ganga. There is a temple near about Kheer Ganga, and the Dashera of Kullu, that is also very popular, sir.
No, that is Kulu.
Yes, sir.
And even Kheer Ganga,
It's again
Manali.
Sir, it's near about Manali.
More than I think 50 kilometers.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There is a very famous spring over there. That is also a religious site, hot spring. Are you aware?
Sir, in Manikaran Sahib, sir.
In Manali itself.
Sir, I'm not aware about it, sir.
You also have mentioned about cartooning.
Yes, during school.
Okay, so there is a cartoon which has disrupted the entire society of France today. Are you aware of that?
Means Samuel Paty, sir.
No, Samuel Paty was a teacher in a school who showed that cartoon.
Yes, sir.
The cartoon was basically made by the Charlie Hebdo magazine.
Yes, sir.
So, what is your take on blasphemy laws?
Sir, I think cartoon making is a kind of freedom of expression in speech, and if the person is using that right, that should not be restricted in the sense. But yes, at the individual level, there should be guidelines that we should not disrespect the religious or cultural feelings of other communities. But banning the or creating a deadline that you should not go beyond that should not be there.
But it is a very slippery slope, right? If we stop something,
Sir.
then it is curtailing freedom of speech to a different level, and
Yes, sir.
and ultimately everything will be crushed,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, as a cartoonist, what is your take? We should not have any blasphemy laws in India. It is a British relic which should be done away.
Sir, I personally believe that India is the largest democracy and there should not be these kinds of laws. People should have the freedom of speech and expression, but also at the individual level, people should be sensitive to the religious or cultural feelings of the communities.
Manpreet,
Yes, sir.
first of all, I want to take up on our discussion that you were having with the ma'am. You said that the women, they should be paid, and their husbands, they need to pay to them.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that this particular thing will further legitimize the authority that the male had invoked over their wives? Then a kind of a feeling will be coming that, okay, as we are paying you, we have a control over your choices, over your decisions. That patriarchy which is often asserted, don't you think it will get more legitimized?
Sir, this particular system we can think of in the long term, sir. But first of all, we need to change the thinking of the people, sir. We need to strike at the patriarchal system. Only then I believe that the women would have a desired respect, or which respect they should have in the society, sir.
No, I am not saying that what we need to do.
Sir.
Whether such kind of legitimization will be there or yes or not, what do you believe?
Sir, it may lead to, sir.
It may lead to.
Yes.
Still you are suggesting that they should be paid then?
Sir, that is why I said, sir, that in the short term, we need to firstly strike at the patriarchal system, sir. And ultimately, if there is a sense of equality in the society, then we can think of it, sir.
Manpreet, your optional is political science and international relations. Right now we see the situation into Afghanistan is very volatile.
Yes, sir.
What is your perception that what will be the future of Afghanistan? Whether the government will be able to stabilize or whether the Taliban will overpower the Afghanistan? What do you believe?
Sir, from the recent phenomena, we can see that the Taliban has already taken many provinces in Afghanistan. And it may lead to a civil war, because even if the Taliban will succeed to take the provinces, that would not lead to a sustainable government, sir. Because there is no legitimacy of Taliban at the international level.
There is no legitimacy. Russia is directly talking into with the
Yes,
Taliban into the Doha talks.
Yes,
Fine, the Taliban has been recognized as a stakeholder. Even we have started to talk with the Taliban.
Yes, sir.
Fine. How you can say that there is no legitimacy?
Sir, my context of saying is that in the long term, they will not find any legitimacy, because ultimately every nation, which is every democratic nation, would ensure that there should be a democracy in the region. And the policies which Taliban adopt in against the women and against the society, that is not a policy which is sustainable for the long term, sir. And even many governments are considering that if the Taliban would change its policy, then only they will go ahead in talkings with the Taliban.
Okay, what is exactly India's approach when India deal with Taliban?
Sir, initially India's approach was that they will not directly talk with the Taliban, because India is a peace-loving nation and India always aimed at strengthening of democracy in Pakistan.
Okay.
And always aimed at the government should be.
Okay, now what is happening?
Sir, now India is thinking of that they should have a back-channel diplomacy and back-channel talks with the Taliban leaders, because we can clearly see that the Taliban is leading in Afghanistan, and to counter the influence of Pakistan, or to ensure that if the Taliban comes in power, that should not destabilize the region of Jammu and Kashmir, or that should not be a threat of India's internal security. India is having a back channel talks.
Okay, back channel talks are there. Do you think that India should directly talk with the Taliban rather than this back channel talk that we are taking? Direct engaging with Taliban, is it good or is it bad?
Sir, I think every decision is based on ensuring national interest, and if we consider the present situation, India can talk directly with Taliban to ensure that they would not be a threat for the India's internal security, sir.
Okay. What more benefits will be there if we directly talk with Taliban?
So we can counter the influence of Pakistan, because that may use Taliban against India. Second would be India would be a major stakeholder in the Afghanistan peace process in the long term. And third one would be, sir, India being a aspiring regional power, it would found some place in the regional issues, sir.
So right now aren't we having a place in regional issues?
So we are having a place, but not that kind of place which the other nations are getting. For example,
do you think that just by recognizing Taliban we'll get that space which other nations are getting?
sir, my point of saying is not recognizing, but having a talks to ensure that Taliban should not go against India's national interests, sir.
My last question.
Sir.
You say that you are working into the Department of Cooperation
Yes,
in
sir.
Punjab. Recently, the Supreme Court has struck some of the portions of Part 9B.
Yes, sir.
Why it got struck down? And what is this Part 9B?
Sir, Part 9B gives the constitutional status to the cooperatives and gives various guidelines regarding the cooperatives. So the judgment was based on that, based on the petition that this Part 9 or the constitutional amendment goes against the federal structure of the Indian polity, because cooperatives as a subject is under the entry number 33 in state list.
33. You sure?
Yes, sir.
It's 32.
So pardon me, I'll check about it
Okay. Yes.
to the best of my knowledge, sir. So, sir, the basis of the judgment was that it goes against the federal structure of Indian polity and abridges the rights of the states, because it is only state is empowered to legislate regarding the cooperatives.
There was one more reason.
So I'm not aware about that reason.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.